Traditional Territory Acknowledgements, and how you can make them meaningful. Bonjour, Gretchen Sands Gamble and Dishnakas, Bakejanon and Dunjaba, Mjikan Dodem, Anishna Bakwa and Dow. I said, hello, my name is Gretchen Sands Gamble. I am from Bakejanon. I am Turtle Clan, and I am Anishinaabe woman. All the schools in the Lambton-Kent District School Board start the day by singing O Canada and by saying a Traditional Territory Acknowledgement. But why do we say this Traditional Territory Acknowledgement? Well, did you know that not too long ago, this land that we live on looked a lot different? Before there were schools, stores, farms, and neighborhoods, like many of us live in today, there were lots of lush green forests, marshlands, grasslands, and lots of nature everywhere. This land was originally inhabited by groups of indigenous people called the Chippewa, Odawa, Potawatomi, and later the Delaware Nations. Does that sound familiar? Through treaties between these indigenous groups and the Canadian government, the sharing of this land was agreed upon. When these agreements were made, there were also important promises to the land as well. Indigenous people know that as humans, it is important for us to care for the land like it is a relative. And since we are a part of the land that keeps all life alive, it is a sacred responsibility of all people to make sure that the environment remains protected. When we say Traditional Territory Acknowledgements, we are saying that we understand we have an important relationship and responsibility with the land. We are saying that we are grateful for everything that the land gives us, including our lives. We are saying that we understand that this is the traditional territory of the Chippewa, Odawa, Potawatomi, and Delaware nations. We are grateful that they have done their part for a very long time in taking care of this beautiful land that all Canadians can now call home. We should also be taking this time when we say the Traditional Territory Acknowledgement to make a commitment to protecting the land and a commitment to the people who call this land their traditional territory. What can this include? This can include contributing to quality of life initiatives or language initiatives in the First Nation communities. It can mean standing with members of the First Nations when they are exercising their rights to their traditions and also when they are working together to care for the environment and each other. It can include making a commitment to learn more about the history of Canada and the Indigenous people who have called this land home for a very long time before this land was even called Canada. It also includes speaking up and educating people who do not know or understand this history. Teachers and students are invited to create their own Traditional Territory Acknowledgements to use in your classrooms. It will help to make them more meaningful. There are some important things to remember when writing your Traditional Territory Acknowledgements. What has the land given you that you are grateful for? Whose traditional territory are you on? What commitments can you make to the land? What commitments can you make to the people who call this land their traditional territory? Do some research before you get writing. Learn about the First Nations in the area where you live. Learn about their history. Learn about the treaties that were signed to make way for towns, farms, and industry. What are some environmental issues that are prevalent in your area that you could work to bring awareness to? Are there any initiatives being led by First Nations people? How can you help them? By treating the Traditional Territory Acknowledgement as something that is meaningful and a call to action, instead of just something that you recite every day in your classroom, you are helping to strengthen your relationship with the land. You are also helping to educate and to make positive change in our world. If you write a Traditional Territory Acknowledgement to use in your classroom, please share it with me. I would love to see it. Miigwech!